everyone, Mardiman641 here. Welcome to my next part of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, we're changing things up a little bit differently this time because, well, you may be thinking, why are you not continuing the rest of the story? Well, I decided, well, you know what? Might as well part this part of the Let's Play because, like, well, it's technically part of the Let's Play, but it's hard mode, and it's for those people who are playing the Master Quest version of the game, which is, of course, the hard mode of the game. But, I have here, basically, the GameCube exclusive, where you pre-order the Wind Waker. And this is basically Ocarina of Time, ported onto the GameCube. But as a bonus for pre-ordering Wind Waker, not only you'll have the original Ocarina of Time, but you'll also have the hard version known as Master Quest. Now, Master Quest is a legend arises from the original. Only masters dare to enter these dungeons. The only thing that Master Quest changes is the dungeons, and that's why after I recorded Lord Jabu Jabu, I decided to mention Master Quest a little bit. And I decided, you know what, maybe after Jabu Jabu is uploaded, I'm gonna upload 3 videos of me doing the dungeon. Now, there's gonna be a total of 12 videos of this. And as the music ends, let's not waste too much time, and let's get right into it. So anyway, so this is Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. The only thing I'm showing in these is the dungeons, and you are indeed seeing the entire dungeon in each video. So at best, you're going to be seeing a 30-minute to an hour long video of me basically beating the Master Quest version of a dungeon. So let's talk about the differences of like Master Quest compared to the original. Now, obviously, the main thing is the dungeons. Obviously, the second thing is this title screen. Sorry that looks like I'm sweaty. I just took a shower. Obviously, it's not the best of my work. Now, Master Quest is also... Now, in order to get Master Quest, again, you have to pre-order Wind Waker on the GameCube in order to get this. And I did. I also did get that. It's actually downstairs. I could bring it up. Maybe, maybe when I'm doing the 4th dungeon, I'll show you my, case. And, Master Quest is also released on the 3DS version as well. And the 3DS version is actually a much better version of Master Quest, not just because the dungeons were redesigned, but also you take double damage, and the entire world is flipped, where everything was once right is on the left. So the 3DS version is definitely a much better version if you guys are going to give it a shot. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So I have 3 save files here because I got them already within the live stream. Obviously, these files were already ready for like me to record this, so I'm gonna be recording 3 videos. I think within the next 3 days. I don't think I'm gonna do the next 2 dungeons today. I'll only do 1 dungeon today, and then the next 2 days I will record. I'll record the 2nd dungeon and the 3rd dungeon. Also on day 4, I'm going to get some extra stuff that you can only do after you beat the dungeon, so... And, the first 3 dungeons are definitely going to be having stuff that you can only get after you beat the dungeon. So, once I beat the dungeon, I'm going to give you guys a warning to stop watching the video, because, like, I'm going to still show the rest of the dungeon. I am 100%ing these dungeons. So once we beat the boss, I'm going to let you guys know to stop watching the video. Because, because as I recorded, up to the point I'm currently at, I don't have the necessary items to achieve these certain things. That being said, let's go ahead and tackle the very first dungeon of the game, the Deku Tree. Alrighty, so the very first dungeon of the game, which is inside the Deku Tree. Now, this dungeon is actually gonna be, quite interesting. Now, before we begin, I'm gonna mention this right at the bat. So, in the original Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the very first dungeon, there's no fire hazards. In other words, you won't be able to lose your Deku Shield. I'm actually going to challenge myself in this, but I'll have to do that whenever I get the opportunity to do that, because right now I'm forced to have it. within the next few moments. But I'm gonna challenge myself in this dungeon. And I'm not gonna read Navi's things, because I already said that in the main playthrough, and it's always good to hear that later. But the dungeons, of course, been redesigned to make it more harder. The placement of the items and, of course, Skulltulas, as you do here, are in completely different locations, so it's always a new experience to go ahead and get them. But yeah, one of them was inside of this crate. If I can roll into it, I already killed it, so the Skulltula up here on top of the crate. But that's where one of them is. I'm gonna jump a slack to get it, and there's your first Skulltula. Now, you think you want to go this way, but believe it or not, that's the wrong answer because it's blocked off by a spider web. Instead, you actually gotta climb this up early. There is no spiders this time, so at least you don't have to worry about, like, carefully climbing up only to get attacked by Skulltulas. Now, believe it or not, you can easily avoid these in the original game too. But, Master Quest made sure you can go up here without any struggle. But, yeah. Okay, so I think right here would be my opportunity, but I'm gonna go this way first. But, what I'm gonna be doing first is I'm actually gonna purposely lose my shield, because, well, I'm gonna give this thing a challenge, because, like, in the original game, you don't lose your shield, but in Master Quest, you do. So I'm gonna, first thing foremost, I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna make him run to the fire. This is to challenge myself, so... There we go. Now burn my flame. Now, as earlier, if you get hit by the keys, you will lose your flame shields, or your Deku shield. So it's never good to lose your Deku shield. So now I'm completely defenseless, so... And again, this is a challenge, so that way I can show you guys that how much good I am at Master Quest. Because I have played Master Quest a few times, mainly because, well... Mainly because... I played this a lot during randomizers. But of course I'm gonna show you guys how well I can work with this knowledge. Now, obviously, first things foremost, what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to take out all these Queen Gomas, which I will do. Activate both of these and bring them down here. You can also hope that, whether or not that, the next upcoming, things would activate. I'm gonna have to make a jump over there first. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and get my, Deku stick and my, my Deku nuts on my C buttons ready, so that way I can prepare for this next bit. So that way I can light this up. Summons a chest on where I'm gonna be going. You can also go ahead and check every single crate, because you're probably going to have to look underneath everything if you're going to be able to find every single bit of whatever. I'm going to go over here, though. Toro! I was trying to use my Deku sticks, but apparently my controller malfunctioned a little bit. But you know what? That's okay. Because I'm still above at least a decent amount of hearts without losing it too much. Now, just because you lost your shield, do not worry, because there is chests within the entire dungeon. In case, like, you lose your shield, you won't have to worry about losing it permanently, because you'll always grab a new one later on. And there's some instances where you're gonna have to use your shield, and I will probably use these instances when we get to them. But here we got the fairy slingshot, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab that really quickly. And the fairy slingshot's of course the dungeon item, the entire dungeon. And yes, I'm showing off the entire dungeon in this one video. This is not split into a two-parter. And this is not split into a three-parter. You're seeing the entire dungeon in this video, so don't you worry. I need to go back one more time just to get that chest. So So once we get this chest, you will get yourself a free Deku Shield. But I'm not gonna use it yet. For better yet, I'm gonna leave the Deku Shield. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of it because I don't necessarily need it right now. I'm gonna tackle most of the dungeon without it. Luckily, sometimes if you're really lucky, you can get your shield burned without even losing, like, your actual, without getting burnt. Anyways, right here is, of course, normal. You can jump down. We're not going to tackle everything down here yet, although I will tackle a little bit of it. But inside this chest... Oh wait, it's not there yet. Well, let me go ahead and hit the switch first. Then light this up. There we go. Activate the switch, and it summons this chest. Now, inside this chest over here is another Deku Shield. But I'm gonna save this Deku Shield for later, because, like, it might be smarter that way, because, like, I'm gonna only need my Deku Shield at certain points, and I'm challenging myself to play this dungeon without a Deku Shield. So, this will be some interesting little trait. But we're gonna go back up here. Actually, I could just come back later and save it for the next, for the ending bit, but you know what? I'm just gonna do it now since it's already here. Grab a Deku Stick here, make a run for over here, and you gotta be really quick before the Deku Stick burns out. If you're not quick enough, then it will burn out like that. In here, we get the gigantic Deku Baba. 2 jump attacks is just enough to take him out, along with 2 Gomas. If you're quick enough, you can take out the egg, and you won't have to fight the Goma. Here's you're gonna need to use the slingshot to get into the next room. And when we enter the next room, I'm going to show you guys something. So, of course, if you play Ocarina of Time, normally you just make the jump onto the platform and then climb up. If you do make the platform for jump, this gulch right here is going to try to block you. So, let's think differently here. I'm going to jump down here for a moment, and I'm going to fight this. Then we're going to use the slingshot on both of these guys. And then we're gonna climb up around. I did not kill this guy fast enough, but luckily a quick jump attack is just enough to work it out. Open this up, you get the compass. Now, there is a little bit more to this room, as if you look up here, there's a lot of boulders over here. Now, you're gonna need an item from a later dungeon in order to get up there, and you're gonna have to come back here later, because, like, there's a sculpture up there, you're gonna have to take care of it. You could go ahead and shoot that, otherwise, I'm just gonna do this. You can make the jump without shooting it. Now, this is like a very unique speedrun strat at that. As I said earlier, I am not gonna get this chest yet, because, right now, we don't need to. I mean, you technically need the shield, but I'm challenging myself, of course, and, let's go ahead and, shoot this eye switch up here, and let's look at the next room. Now, I think the enemies in this room could respawn, but, now, here's the thing. The Deku Scrubs in, the Deku Tree are very special Deku Scrubs, because, like, those Deku Scrubs were ones that give you special information. However, these Deku Scrubs are just like the Deku Scrubs from the Lost Woods. In other words, if you shoot with a slingshot, he will run away. In, of course, the vanilla Deku Tree, because these were very special Deku Scrubs, you were forced to use your shield against them in order to get rid of them. But of course, only doing that will pretty much let the room free, so yeah. But I figured show this off. And no, you cannot do this in Vanilla Ocarina of Time, because, as I said, the Vanilla Ocarina of Time use a very special version of the Deku Scrubs, because, well, they want to, I guess, like, they really want the Deku Scrubs to be more of a key element. And for better yet, in the original game, this business scrub, or Deku Scrub, is actually helpful because it helps you reveal the code at the end of the dungeon. As you enter this next room, we start to realize a problem. We'll talk about this chest in a moment. But, first thing foremost, what they want us to do is that they want us to hit the switch and then, use a Deku stick, right in front of it. Originally, there's supposed to be a button right here that lowers the water level. However, there's no such thing as that in a Master Quest. So, as such, like, trying to cross underneath there is not going to be easy. Because after all, if you light the switch and then make a run for it, because you don't have a shield, you cannot duck. They want you to duck here. So, this is pretty much why they have this little chest here. If you lost your shield early on in the dungeon, I guess I was thinking of something else. Whatever, let's see if I can work another way. Maybe I can roll under it. I'm gonna try it. Who knows, maybe I can work another way around it. I can work this, I can do this. Don't panic, Marty, you can do this. I feel like I can roll this. Okay, you can roll this. But I did too fast, so that's pretty much why I failed. Alright. Haha, like that. Who needs a Deku shield? No, be a man. Be a pro gamer like me. Now, as you can see here, there's a Song of Time block. We'll talk more about what these things are later. But, you will have to come back to this dungeon later once you can figure out what to do with this. You can also use Deku Nuts, too. If you freeze him with a Deku Nut, he will constantly spin. It's also pretty good. I rarely use Deku Nuts in this game, unfortunately. Deku Nuts are not very helpful. Now be careful, there is indeed a keys in this room. There we go. Alright, entering the next room. Obviously, we're gonna have to take out these keys over here. And you may notice why Navi is turning green right here. Well, this is a very specific puzzle to get a very specific Skulltula that is on the ceiling, and we're gonna have to come back to this dungeon. Just wait till the end of the video and you'll find out what we're talking about. And of course, we'll also do the same for going into that room too. Which, you know what, I might as well go ahead and activate while I'm already at it, since I can actually slightly go in there, because in vanilla, there's like another different type of wall that you have to go through. But I'll go into this room for a moment just to show you what's inside. But of course, there's like 4 Goma eggs and a giant Skulltula guarding, of course, a gold Skulltula. So we're gonna have to come back into this room once we can. Now let's go ahead and light this up, of course. Take that. Also, let me make sure my microphone's recording really quickly. Yeah, it is. Making sure. Enter the next room, and there is a business scrub over here that you can actually attack. And if you have 50 rubies, he will give you a Deku shield. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this dungeon, you're most likely will not have that amount of money. So, unless you were grinding Kakariko, you're probably not even gonna get it that way. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this treasure chest in the corner right there, but I'm not gonna equip it just yet. But there is a shield inside that chest, or if you don't have, or how do I say it? Or if you already have a shield, it will be a blue ruby, but obviously I ditched the shield. I want to challenge myself in this dungeon, and for better yet, in the next dungeon, I know they want me to have a different shield, but obviously I'm going to challenge myself to try being it without losing my Deku shield. But yeah, anyway, so if you open this chest, you will get either 5 rubies or a Deku shield, so that way you'll be able to be ready for the next upcoming encounters. Also, the fire torch was normally on that platform. They moved it a lot farther, so you're gonna have to basically do it really quick. If you're quick enough, then you can keep if you're quick enough, you keep the stick. If you're not quick enough, then you won't keep the stick. Just like that, I kept the stick. Just like that. So, next thing's next is a combination. So, if you know from the original game, it is 23 is number 1. Now, also, because these Deku Scrubs, I'm about to die, because these Deku Scrubs are, like, dungeon important, they won't die to your slingshot or any of your attacks. These, you have to use your Deku shield, otherwise it won't work. So, of course, we're going to do 23 as number 1. And, as expected, because it's Master Quest, they actually changed the code. And what's worse, there's no information scrub to tell you what the code is. Normally, in the original game, there is a Deku scrub that will tell you what the combination is, and it's 23 is the number 1. However, they changed it here, so here's what the actual code is for Master Quest. It's 3... It is 3, 1, 2. 3, 1, 2 is the code. In other words, 31 is the number 2. That's basically, what this game's version of the code is. And again, earlier, normally in Ocarina, you were given like a clue on how to do it, but this game doesn't give you any clues. You have to solve this up on your own. Luckily, you have me, so we got that out. Alrighty, guys, so now we are ready to go ahead and go fight Queen Goma. So, this boss is pretty much the same. The bosses are due left untouched, but I will fight the boss again, because why not? And might as well talk about how this game handles from the original Ocarina. And I'm going to also show you guys how I fastly do it, of course. If you're lucky, you can get him up this pillar. And, of course, shoot him from up here. It's always good to grab a Deku stick and do free jump attacks. Free jump attacks can kill him fast. But, yeah. But yeah, that's the Master Quest version of this dungeon, of course. Now, it's not the end of the video yet. So, I'm gonna go ahead and say a few things before I enter the portal. So, the next piece of footage I'm showing you is basically stuff that you can only do after you beat the dungeon. And, you're gonna need a certain few items that, of course, you won't be able to, they won't get right from the get-go. You're gonna need to get those items first, and then you have to come back later. So, whenever I re-enter the dungeon, I will explain what items you are, and you're probably going to be entering spoiler territory. And if you're watching this on a live premiere, I recommend that either you stop watching, or if you already beaten Ocarina of Time one time, or Master Quest even, go ahead and enjoy. And that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. And let's go ahead and see post-dungeon collectibles. Alright, so you guys are gonna need the boomerang, bombs, or bomb shoes, and the Song of Time. Okay, so anyways, so here we are back in Great Deku Tree for post-game stuff, so I hope you guys are ready for this. You only need to get this stuff pretty much later into the game. And if you're watching this in the order that I'm putting in the playlist, or if you're watching it as I upload it, of course, then please ignore this part because you don't have the stuff that I have in my hand yet. Or maybe I do. Some of the stuff I can guarantee I don't have. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get some stuff that you can only get on your second trip here. You can only get these items once you come back later. First things foremost, we're gonna go into this room over here. Sometimes the leaves could be a pain, and that could literally screw up everything here. You don't need to take care of everybody in this room, but I did anyways, because why not? That is not what I meant to do, but I think... No, I didn't even kill anybody with it. But I just did press the wrong button, so that's another sad thing about it. But anyway, so the first thing you need to collect for, at best, 100% completion is up here. You're gonna need bomb tubes to blow this up. So once you got the bomb tubes and blow up that boulder, you can go up here, and you're gonna need to use the boomerang to get the Skulltula up here. That's another Skulltula. There is a few more things in this dungeon, so that won't be it. You're gonna need it for a lot of things. And I don't need that ladder. I'm gonna jump down. Now, you're supposed to use your shield to duck here. That's how you're supposed to do it regularly. But, I decided to challenge myself by, getting rid of my shield, and, well, as you can see how that went, it was a success. Blow this guy up. Anyways, so you're gonna need to use the Song of Time here. You basically play right A down, right A down. I almost screwed it up there. And, well, it's not necessary here, because all you get from it is a small chest. When you open that small chest, you will get yourself 50 rubies. Pretty sure I can make this jump. Okay, no I cannot, so I'm gonna have to play Song of Time again to respawn the block. Fun fact, if you play a Song of Time on front of a Song of Time block, and I'm probably gonna mention it in vanilla playthrough, since most likely you won't be watching Master Quest very much. Or if you're interested. If you send the Song of Time block away, believe it or not, it will actually send that block to a different point in time. So, like, I use Song of Time in the version of the block that's set in the past. That block will basically go to the future. It's unnoticeable. And, it's really interesting. Anyway, so what we need to do next is we need to get the Skulltula that's up here. To do that, you're gonna play the Song of Time a lot here, so play Song of Time here, and this is where you gotta basically climb up a ton of Song of Time blocks. Yeah, this is platforming in a Zelda game, if you'd like to call it that way. You jump on this block first, then you gotta jump onto this block, then onto this block, then on to this block. And you can indeed... Oh, I blame my controller on that one. But as I'm saying, you jump onto this block, you make your way up to this block, climb up here, and then you go up here, make sure my controller doesn't malfunction. And you could do more, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and grab my slingshot, because I doubt that my boomerang is going to activate. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot this down. Then I'm going to grab my boomerang, fire that, and you get yourself another Skulltula. The last thing we're going to do before we leave this, before we finish up this first Master Quest video, is we're going to get one more Skulltula. It's the last Skulltula in the entire dungeon. What you got to do for this one, you're going to need your Deku stick to get rid of the spider web. Try to take him out, but that didn't end up very well. Anyways, we're gonna take out these guys. Take out a lot of the enemies. You don't have to, but it's always good to take them out. And this is basically the last collectible that we're gonna get. This is the last gold Skulltula. Yeah, you destroyed gold Skulltula, token proving that you destroyed it. But other than that, that is basically it for this very first dungeon. As you can see, if you look in the map, there'll be this little Skulltula icon right next to the name of the dungeon. It signifies meaning that you have completed the dungeon. Got every single Skulltula and you're set to go. But yeah, that is basically it for the Deku Tree Master Quest Edition. And I really think you guys are going to be quite interested onto this little Master Quest series that I'm going to be doing. It will only be happening every time I complete 3 dungeons within the main playthrough. So I'm uploading this after I've beaten the 3rd dungeon. But when you're looking at the playlist, it will definitely be right after I completed the current dungeon. But that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, or actually, within the next few days, you will see the second Master Quest dungeon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.